Have you ever stopped in the middle of an ordinary day and wondered if there are questions humanity may never answer? Throughout history, every generation believed it was on the verge of unlocking the greatest mysteries of existence. We have walked on the moon, decoded the human genome, built artificial intelligence capable of remarkable feats, and explored the deepest parts of the oceans. Yet despite all our achievements, some questions remain as mysterious today as they were thousands of years ago. They continue to challenge scientists, philosophers, and curious minds across the globe. These aren't just difficult questions. They are puzzles that push the limits of human knowledge and force us to confront the possibility that some answers may always remain beyond our reach. Today, we're exploring some of the biggest questions no one truly knows the answers to. And by the end, you may realize that the greatest mystery isn't the universe itself, but our place within it. Perhaps the biggest question ever asked is, why anything exists at all? Think about it for a moment. Why is there a universe instead of absolutely nothing? Scientists have developed impressive theories explaining how the universe evolved after the Big Bang, but none can fully explain why the Big Bang happened in the first place, or what existed before it. Some physicists suggest the universe emerged from quantum fluctuations, while others believe ours may be one of countless universes in a vast multiverse. But these ideas only move the question one step further back. Why do quantum laws exist? Why would a multiverse exist? Every explanation seems to create another mystery, leaving us with one of the deepest, unanswered questions imaginable. Then there is the mystery of consciousness. Your brain contains billions of neurons constantly exchanging electrical signals. But how do those signals create the experience of being you? Why does seeing the color blue actually feel like something? Why do emotions, memories, dreams, and self-awareness emerge from physical matter? Neuroscience has mapped countless regions of the brain and discovered how different areas influence behavior, yet no one truly understands how consciousness itself arises. Some researchers believe it is simply an emergent property of complex brains. Others suggest consciousness could be a fundamental aspect of reality itself. Until we understand how subjective experience emerges from physical processes, consciousness remains one of science's greatest unsolved puzzles. Another question that has fascinated humanity for centuries is whether we are alone in the universe. The Milky Way alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and many of those stars have planets orbiting them. Across the observable universe, there are likely trillions upon trillions of planets. Statistically, it seems almost impossible that Earth would be the only place where life developed. Yet despite decades of searching, we have found no confirmed evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations. This contradiction is known as the Fermi paradox. If intelligent life is common, where's everybody? Perhaps civilizations destroy themselves before mastering interstellar travel. Maybe intelligent life is incredibly rare. Or perhaps advanced civilizations deliberately avoid contact. The silence of the universe remains one of its most haunting mysteries. Even time itself refuses to reveal all its secrets. We experience time flowing in one direction, from the past toward the future. We remember yesterday, but not tomorrow. Yet many equations in physics work just as well whether time moves forward or backward. Why does time seem to have a preferred direction? Some scientists connect this to entropy, the tendency for disorder to increase over time. But that explanation still leaves unanswered why the universe began in such an ordered state. Could time eventually stop? Could it move differently in parts of the cosmos? Or is our perception of time simply limited by the way our brains process reality? These questions continue to challenge physicists and philosophers alike. Dark matter and dark energy present another enormous mystery. Everything we can see, from stars and planets to galaxies and ourselves, makes up less than 5% of the universe. The remaining 95% appears to consist of invisible components we barely understand. Dark matter seems to provide extra gravity that holds galaxies together, yet scientists have never directly detected what it actually is. Dark energy appears to drive the accelerating expansion of the universe, but its true nature remains completely unknown. Imagine discovering that nearly the entire universe consists of something invisible, something we cannot explain despite decades of research. It's like solving a puzzle only to realize 95% of the pieces are still missing. Then comes one of the oldest philosophical questions ever asked. Do we truly have free will? Every decision you make feels like a personal choice. You choose what to eat, what to say, and where to go. But neuroscience suggests our brains may begin making decisions before we consciously become aware of them. Meanwhile, physics tells us that every particle follows natural laws. If every event is determined by previous events, are our choices genuinely free, or are they simply the inevitable result of countless physical processes? Some philosophers argue free will is an illusion, while others believe consciousness allows genuine choice. The debate continues with no clear resolution. Dreams provide another fascinating mystery. Every night our minds create vivid worlds filled with impossible events, familiar faces, and strange stories. Scientists understand certain biological processes behind sleep, yet they still cannot fully explain why dreams occur or why they often seem so bizarre. Are dreams simply random brain activity, or do they help process memories and emotions? Why do some dreams feel incredibly real, while others disappear moments after waking? And why do recurring dreams appear in so many people? Even after centuries of study, dreaming remains one of the mind's greatest enigmas. Death raises perhaps the most personal, unanswered question of all. What happens when consciousness ends? Different religions, philosophies, and cultures have offered countless answers, from reincarnation to eternal life to complete non-existence. Science can describe what happens to the body, but it cannot determine whether consciousness continues in any form after death. Near-death experiences have sparked intense debate, with some viewing them as evidence of something beyond the brain and others explaining them through neurological activity during extreme stress. The truth remains unknown, making death one of humanity's most profound mysteries. Mathematics itself introduces another puzzle. Why does math describe the universe so perfectly? Equations developed through pure imagination often end up predicting real physical phenomena years or even decades before experiments confirm them. It's almost as though the universe is written in the language of mathematics. But why should abstract numbers created by the human mind align so precisely with reality? Is mathematics an invention or a discovery? Does it exist independently of humans, waiting to be uncovered? No one has a definitive answer. Finally, perhaps the greatest unanswered question is whether humanity will ever know everything. Throughout history, each scientific breakthrough has solved old mysteries while uncovering even deeper ones. Every answer seems to create new questions. It is entirely possible that some mysteries lie permanently beyond the limits of human understanding. Our brains evolved to survive on a small planet, not necessarily to comprehend every aspect of reality. Yet curiosity continues to drive us forward. We build larger telescopes, more powerful particle accelerators, smarter computers, and more advanced space probes. Because we refuse to stop asking questions, the search itself has become one of humanity's defining characteristics. In the end, these unanswered questions remind us that knowledge is not a destination, but a journey. Every mystery challenges us to think beyond our assumptions and imagine possibilities we never considered before. Whether we eventually discover the origins of the universe, understand consciousness, find alien civilizations, or unlock the true nature of time, each answer will almost certainly reveal even greater mysteries waiting beyond. Perhaps that is the most beautiful part of being human. We are a species driven not only by what we know, but by what we do not know. As long as unanswered questions exist, curiosity will continue pushing civilization toward discoveries that today seem impossible. And maybe, somewhere in those future discoveries, lies an answer to a question we haven't even thought to ask yet.